This week on Half Step Down, Renee and I talk about our favorite stoner movies because by the time this episode drops, 420 will have been weeks ago. We dropped the ball. I'm sorry. That's just the way this podcast rolls. We're going to look at the top 25 stoner movies according to Rotten Tomatoes and talk about them. We're going to make some song recommendations. We're even going to talk about a stupid, sexy Flanders figure that you know I'm going to have to get at some point because I'm ridiculous. But before we get to that, let's talk about halfstepdownpod.com. It is your one-stop shop for all things Half Step Down. If you are on Instagram or Twitter, please follow us at halfstepdownpod. We've got links in the description to the Spotify playlist that we add songs to all the time. And if you like what you hear, please rate and review us. We would really appreciate it. But for now, why don't you sit back, get yourself a bag of chips, and relax, because Half Step Down starts now. Dumas, go for it.
It's Dumas.
Shit.
I cannot stop watching Coming to America, the first one.
The first one's a classic, man.
I cannot. I watched it years ago. I remember some of the stuff from the movie, and I've been watching over the last 2 weeks because I was prepping to watch the Coming to America Part 2.
Right.
But I just got stuck on the first one.
The first one is a bona fide classic, man.
Yes. I talked to one of my, his name's Alan. He's a big Funko guy. And he has all the Coming to America Funkos. And every time I call him, I go, Rocky Marciano is the greatest fighter ever. And then we just get into it from there on. And actually, it's funny because he had mentioned this, and I mentioned it too. Whenever we go get a haircut at our barbers, they always ask, my barber always tells me, so the same thing that we always do, and I just tell him, and I always say to him, just make it nice and neat. And he has no idea what I'm talking about. He's never seen Coming to America.
That's amazing.
Yes. Welcome, everyone, to Half Step Down, where two aging punk rockers talk about punk rock, pop culture, and everything in between. We are your co-hosts, Renee Grano and the stoner, Jose Martinez.
I am not a stoner. Remember, I have a square 9-to-5 job. I have no idea what we're talking about.
True. That's your wrestling name for the week.
That's my wrestling name for the week, the stoner.
And why is it that I would call you the stoner, Jose Martinez? That if you were, what would your character be if you were the stoner? As a pro wrestler, like what would you be doing down there? What would your entrance song be actually?
I don't know. Something I don't know. Maybe "Sweet Leaf" by Black Sabbath.
Okay, and you probably have like a bag of chips.
And I'd have like a bag of chips, or I would just cosplay as the Thing.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and then I think your persona in the ring, you'd just be laughing at all times.
That would be good,
right? Like some guy, like the guy across from you, like Hulk Hogan's just looking at you and giving you, he's hulking up and you're just laughing at him.
Yeah, something along those lines. I think would be good.
Along those lines. Well, we are not stoners, but it is, I guess, a unwritten national holiday now. April 20th.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why April 20th. I don't know why 420.
It's Hitler's birthday.
Is that why?
I'm assuming that's what it is.
We're going to look that up before the end. I don't know why 420 is associated with weed.
I have no idea why it would be associated with weed. But since we're in California, and now that it's legal, I think the best thing for us to do is you don't always have to be high to enjoy a good stoner movie.
No, dude. Stoner movies are they're their own subgenre, their own thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're going to be going into today. But I do have a interesting 420 story for this year. My nephew, who is 18 years old, texted me, Shayla, and her sister in a group text. And mind you, none of us smoke. And he texts me and he says, 420, blaze it. And I don't think any of us said anything. And I remember talking to Shayla after when she got home, and I told her, "Hey, what's up with our nephew saying 420 blaze it to the three of us?" And she goes, "I have no idea what that was about." And my nephew's not a stoner per se. He's not at all. Actually, he doesn't smoke at all. But he has his moments. So I can only imagine what he would be like if he did smoke.
You were the one that Blaze.
Oh yeah, okay. So
you were that guy, right?
I was part of the team Blaze.
Yeah.
No, so that's a good story. I think we got to start the stoner.
Start with that one.
Okay. So our cousin Romeo and I, It's no. I guess it's nothing to hide that my he's a stoner. He's been smoking for quite some time now, and
marijuana enthusiast.
Marijuana. I like that. He's a marijuana enthusiast, and one day he goes, "Hey, let's join the Team BLAAAZZZEEEE club or something like that," and This is right when I became differently abled, and we were at the gym because the doctor had told me, if you drop a few pounds, that'll definitely help you out, and maybe that'll be something that can kind of ease your the tension in your eyes or whatever. Right? All right, cool. So I was gonna have surgery where they're going to try to reduce the pressure in my optic nerves, right? And so we were hitting the gym every day for like 2 weeks straight, and I was lifting, right? And mind you, at that time I was hard of seeing already, and he goes, "Come on, Renee. Keep pumping. We're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna come back the next day, and you're gonna get swole for your surgery. They're not even gonna know how to cut you because you'll be swole, right?" He was just hyping me up, and I just go, "Ah!" I just get hyped. I jump up off the seat,
right?
And in Spanish, I go, "Para que vean, Team BLAAAAZZZEEEE." And I wasn't looking at anybody. I just I was hyped, right? And Romeo looks at me and he says, "Hey man, you were staring at some chick on the treadmill the entire time." And I go, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Dude, she got scared. She took off and left." I was like, "Oh, I felt so bad, dude." But at the time, I was just pumped.
No,
you know what I mean? And the only team to play for, if you want to play on a professional team, the only team to play for is
Team BLAAAZZZEEEE.
Team BLAAAAZZZEEEE. We're so stupid.
There was a period of time where you would come out and we would say that shit over and over
just
again.
Nonstop. I think we're gonna have to bring it back.
I agree.
I think we're gonna have to bring it back. Yeah,
that's a good one.
So, what are some of your, just to jump off the gun, just to jump right into it here? What are some of your favorite stoner movies?
Okay, so I went about this a little bit differently. So I picked some movies that I thought would be enhanced by this,
okay.
Maybe not a comedic way, but some of these, a good friend of mine, wink, wink, has experienced under the influence. Some of them they have not. But I'm gonna go with. I picked a couple that I think would go good. What direction did you go in with this?
The same way, actually.
Okay.
The movies that I enjoy now, I when I started to think about what we were gonna do for the show was, what movies do I enjoy and what movies would be better under the influence.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So obviously there's just a ton of classic comedies out there.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna get to those.
Yes.
But you want to go one for one? I'll go one and you go.
Okay. We can do. All right. Okay. My first one. Oh, do you want to go first?
You go ahead and go first.
Okay. Dumb and Dumber was one of them.
Okay. So Dumb and Dumber is definitely.
Yes.
I could see that. I could see that. An all-time comedy classic.
Yeah. The older you get, the funnier Dumb and Dumber gets.
I had this really vivid memory of my mom hating that movie. Except for, ironically, the diarrhea scene, which is like the most juvenile scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
But I remember me and my friends loving it as kids, and one of my friends pointing out, does it say something that none of the adults like this movie, but we all think it's the funniest thing ever? Yeah. But I don't know. I can watch that movie and I still find it hilarious.
It's one of those classics. I can, every time I watch it, I'm always laughing.
Everything about, from extra gloves to everything
John
about
Denver.
it, to John Denver, the IOUs.
Hey guys, big gulps, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Well, see you later.
See you later. Yeah.
Like, that has no premise. He's just, all right. Well, see ya.
See you later.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Again, total classic, deserves to be on this list.
Yes. What about you?
Okay, so I went a different direction. So I went with The Holy Mountain. Have you ever seen The Holy Mountain?
I've never seen The Holy Mountain.
So The Holy Mountain was recommended to me by our good buddy Davey. And Davey told me that it is one of his favorite movies. Spoiler alert, because the ending is like a total fuck you. But I'm going to attempt to tell you the plot of this movie.
Okay.
There's this guy who is supposed to be representative of the thief from the tarot cards who goes into this village, okay?
Okay.
Where there's like a wise man
Okay.
who lives in this tower.
Did he ever make it as a wise man?
No, but he did make it as a poor man stealing.
Okay.
Okay.
This is how you remind me about this movie.
God. Can't believe it that I
that was
participated.
I
participated in that.
Yeah, you did. The fact that I thought of it, I think
You thought of it, and I was like, "Oh, I think I know where he's going with this," but I can go with it. Oh God, let me just wash over. Let me get some of that off of me.
Yeah, that was horrible. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Basically, this is the trippiest movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
The imagery at one point, there's a Spanish Inquisition with frogs. Mm-hmm. They go into an art factory where people use their. You got to see it. Mm-hmm. But the imagery is so. At one point, an old man's breasts turn into tigers, and the tigers squirt milk at people. And I'll be honest.
That sounds like a dirty anime.
It probably is.
Yeah, it's like borderline hentai, but not there yet.
No. This, yeah.
Just that scene alone. From what you explained to me, yeah.
But it was just nuts, and it took me 4 times to get through it.
Huh?
And because I kept falling asleep because there is no plot there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a loose plot, but the ending is just perfect. That it made me laugh out loud, and I think under the influence, I would have died laughing. Spoiler alert to the end. So after all this crazy imagery and all these different people get represented by these different tarot cards, they're like, all right, we're going to go to the Holy Mountain, hence the name. They reach the Holy Mountain. They reach the Table of Wise Men. They get to the Table of Wise Men.
But I just said they never made it as wise men.
No, I said they never made it as a poor man.
Oh, okay. Singing.
Singing or
is
stealing? Is
that what it is? Stealing or singing?
I don't know.
I don't even want to sing it. But in case the audience didn't hear that, I just grunted instead of saying. I didn't sing at all.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I just.
That's about it. That's all you really need. You don't need much more.
We should start a cover band called the Grunts.
I could do that.
And all we just do is. I never heard her.
We could just cover Pearl Jam songs.
We can just cover Pearl Jam songs, I guess. Yeah. Did I just say Psalms?
Psalms.
Oh, okay.
Pearl Jam Psalms.
These Pearl Jam.
Imagine Eddie Vedder doing all the songs.
All the songs.
I'm right now.
Count me in. I'm in.
Eddie, I don't think you're listening.
Of course he is. Are you kidding me?
If you are, get on that train right now.
Yes. Eddie Pearl Jam Psalms, Volume 1.
Psalm Jams.
Psalm Jams. Yeah. Psalm Jams. I like that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Who's
gonna open for Pro Jam when they're doing just Psalms?
Temple of the Dog. Temple of the Dog.
I was gonna say Santana, but
Temple of the Dog. By the way, Hunger Strike. That is gonna be the song that when I'm driving with Lincoln and his friends, and I want to embarrass the shit out of him. That's the one. That opening riff where I right before it gets into the song, and I'm just gonna look at all his friends like, here in America, some men have it all, and some men have nothing.
Speaking of America, I have a friend who
I don't mind stealing.
I have a friend who is from, I believe, the Middle East, and a buddy of mine, a buddy of mine and him and I were in the car, and he had mentioned something about being American, how we're all American for 4th of July or something like that.
Right.
And our buddy, he goes, "I'm more American than all of you guys." I go, "What makes you say that?" He goes, "Because I love Hulk Hogan and apple pie." And we just kind of stayed quiet. I said, "Dude, that's American.
That's American.
That's you
American.
Can't get more American than Hulk Hogan and apple pie."
What if he took his vitamins?
Then it's even. He listened to what Hulk Hogan had to say.
I have that album.
Do you really? I have the. I don't have that one, but I have the. What's that noise? Am I tripping?
Is there a noise?
Is there? A noise?
It's the fan from the laptop.
Okay.
It's the fan from the laptop.
See, we're not under the influence, but I'm already tripping.
Yeah.
I'm sober tripping right now.
Sober tripping. That's a good name. That's a good name.
The name of your next punk band. Sober tripping.
I was gonna go noise rock.
I can see that.
Sober tripping.
Yeah, sober tripping. Where were we?
So I was gonna tell you the ending of this movie.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Where did that? Oh, because we talked about Psalms and Psalms. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they get to the Holy Mountain. There's this table, people around it. The director is the main character, like the wizard guy. He gets there. They're all dolls. He just starts kind of messing around. And they're like, you wanted to find out the meaning of life? And basically he goes, I can't tell you. This is not reality. This is a film. And then he goes, zoom back, camera. And the camera zooms back and you see the crew. And he basically goes, if you wanted to get the meaning of life from a movie, you're an idiot. You should go out and live your life.
Really? That's very Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
And I was just like, dude, the balls on this guy to just tell the audience, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you go figure this shit out.
Absolutely.
He actually, if you ever get a chance, honorable mention for movies. He was originally going to do Dune, Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've heard about the 14-hour Dune cut that was supposed to happen.
Yes.
We're like,
well, we used to watch Dune all the time at the comic book store, the one that I used to work at in Arizona.
Hint, this is another one that's going on the list. That movie, I'm sure, high is.
Yes, I could imagine. Yeah,
but
I remember all the time I would walk by, and I've probably seen that movie 100 times.
The Sleeper Awakens.
And every time I walk by, I would just catch myself watching at all times.
Oh yeah, it's one of those. Does that fall into so bad it's good?
Yeah,
that one does.
Oh, I just had a conversation with some friends of mine about what's a movie that's so bad that it's good, and I did not mention Dune.
Dude, I mean,
I forgot all about that.
There's a scene where the Emperor of the Universe asks to see the Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah,
and he says, "Bring me the floating fat man," and that's one of my all-time favorite lines.
I always feel like I would be a good Chris Angel. And if I was doing that elevation trick, I would say the same thing. I would have you on like the other side, and you would say that, and I would just like float to you.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
that would be pretty rad.
I would defy gravity. I'm gonna pick one too, and I think that you and I might agree with this one. Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out is good no matter what.
Yeah,
but I think if you were under the influence, even better.
Yeah,
that movie is so endlessly quotable. And already I laugh when I quote some of those. I could not imagine. I could not imagine.
Yeah. Do you remember when Snapchat was when Snapchat had first started, when you were first able to make videos on Snapchat, and you and I would send Snapchats to each other and just quote the movie back and forth? That's all we did for like months at a time. And then there was one where you did the Popeye scene where they just show his lips talking to the phone, and you just had your lips right in front of the phone. And I was like, I wish I can save this, but I can't. It was that was just the best one. Yeah, Blood In, Blood Out is just a classic.
You know what? Yeah, it is an all-time Los Angeles classic.
Yeah,
I think it required reading for anyone that lives in the city.
Yeah, it was. I heard that they were gonna take down that tree.
Oh, El Pino. I don't know.
I heard there was. I saw something on the news or an article on the internet that they were gonna take it down, but I'm sure that because that's in the backyard of someone's house.
That's just somebody's house.
Yeah, that's just someone's tree in their house.
Which then in the movie they go to it.
Yeah,
but nobody they know lives there.
No.
So they just hang out around this random.
They just hang out around this neighborhood. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, right off a cliff too. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, we should do that.
We should. You know what? We've talked about making a pilgrimage to El Pino. We should do it.
Yeah, we have to do it. I think, Paul, you and I need to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And get Gabby in there too.
Yeah, Gabby needs to, but she's never seen the whole thing.
You're right.
She
oh my God.
I feel so bad for her because we would watch that. We had a tradition during Game of Thrones where we would watch 10 to 20 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she wouldn't come, sometimes she would. And by the time she'd come back, let's say she'd miss like a week, she was completely lost.
Oh yeah,
and she would always say, "Can we watch from the beginning?" Go, no, we're starting where we left off.
And the thing everyone needs to understand is this went on over multiple seasons. So she's
I think it was season 3.
Yeah.
Is when we started,
Yeah.
right? Is when we all met up. Like, oh, we all watched Game of Thrones.
We
Let's do
should-
it. I think season 3 is when we started doing Game of Thrones, right?
And so
Yeah.
she's probably seen the whole movie in 15-minute chunks, completely out of order.
Like at all times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's horrible.
Oh my God.
But it's funny because one of my buddies had never seen the movie. And Paul and I were like, well, let's for you guys who don't, for the audience, Paul is my best friend, and I grew up with him, and he used to be my roommate and stuff. So we used to we told our friend Josh, hey, let's watch Blood In, Blood Out. And so we sat down and watched it, and the ending of the movie, right, the very end, where they show where they the plot twist at the end of the movie. We've seen it so many times that like it doesn't register to me like that anymore.
Yeah.
But when he saw it, he flipped out.
Yes.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened. And we're like, what's that? And we started thinking about it after when he started flipping out. We're like, yeah, that is pretty insane. You're absolutely right. That's a huge plot twist. But I haven't reacted like that in years because we've seen it so many times.
I recently saw on my YouTube clip. I had watched a clip from Breaking Bad. So it started giving me more Breaking Bad clips.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in one of the later episodes of the series where Hank, what's his name? Walter.
Where did you come with Hank?
Hank is his brother-in-law.
Because I've never seen Breaking Bad.
So the reason, the first video that came up, the reason that got me watching these clips is I think it was like a comedy because, again, spoiler alert, Hank gets killed in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He like gets buried in the desert. And I guess someone made a skit of him climbing out of the hole, right? So I watched it, haha. And then all these other clips because, fucking YouTube. But there's
The
this-
algorithm. The
yeah,
algorithm gets
just
you.
goes nuts. So then there's a part where he orders these skinheads to kill a bunch of gang members. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Blood In, Blood Out. Like these surgical, like just like fucking 15 dudes in like 10 different prisons all get killed. And I'm like, dude, that they must have stolen that.
They have to.
I'm gonna get on the phone
Yeah.
with the dude from Breaking Bad,
Yeah,
Vince Gillian.
it's the Hunger Games thing. They just stole that from Battle Royale.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. That's,
Yeah. I remember when I showed my nephews Battle Royale, they were like 15, 16 years old. And I feel bad now looking back at it because they're like, well, actually, not really. I don't feel bad, but, it's a pretty gory movie. I think by 15, 16, I think I've already seen pretty bad stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was pretty great. I took them to go watch Terminator 2 once at the that's actually another movie that I would probably deem
Terminator 2 is
under the influence.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I saw them the beginning where they show the war and stuff, right? And my nephew looks at me and goes, I wasn't ready for this deal.
Oh man.
I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I didn't know it was gonna start like this. I was like, oh dude, you haven't, this is the tip of the iceberg right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's I remember when the Hunger Games first came out and Marta was like, dude, you gotta read this book. It's actually really good. I'm like, what's it about? She's like, it's about this contest where these people get put on this island. And I'm like, oh, so it's like Running Man. She's like, no, but they're kids. I'm like, oh, so it's like Battle Royale.
It's like Battle Royale.
She said, what's Battle Royale? I'm like, it's one of the best movies out of Japan.
Yeah, by far. Did you ever watch the sequel?
I believe I did.
I don't think I ever watched the sequel. I don't think I ever wanted to.
But obviously it did not leave a big impression on me.
Yeah.
Or maybe I haven't seen it.
That's what she said.
Did-it.
Da-da-da-da-dun-dun. What's your next pick of stoner movie?
My next one.
How do you think the audience is tuned out by now?
They must be.
I mean, I'm having the greatest time of my life
This is
right
great.
now.
I'm having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Okay. This one. Highlander. Have you seen the first Highlander?
There can be only one.
I'm gonna go Highlander. The first one.
Yeah.
The second one. And the TV show. Under the Influence, I would imagine, would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the first Highlander, every shot in that movie is a goddamn painting.
Yeah.
From the beginning where he's at the wrestling match, even the idea that there are immortals walking around and their job is to chop each other's heads off, is just the concept of the movie is such a it's like something a stoner would come up with.
Yeah.
It's like, what if you lived forever?
Yeah.
and the only thing you had to do was sword fight other people.
Yes.
Like
That would be pretty. That's something that would stick to your mind under the influence, and those kind of moments just stick to your head forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nonstop thing,
and it's
so mind blowing.
right. It's like, dude, you live forever. You can go, but anytime another guy, you have to sword fight.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, but you guys both live forever, and it's like, not if you chop the other guy's head off. Yeah. And then it's like, well, then what happens?
Yeah.
Then you get all his power.
I remember a conversation being held around us about free will, and it was like a 30-minute conversation. And I remember just everybody around us just being astounded by the idea that free will doesn't exist, or it does exist, or it doesn't exist, or it does exist.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a very complicated conversation to have with somebody if they're under the influence.
Oh my
because
God.
they get mind blown by everything.
Oh yeah.
I go, bro, why does 2 + 2 make 5? I mean, why does 2 +
Oh man.
why does 2 + 2 make 4? Why can't it make 5? Or just the dumbest jokes ever. Like one of the ones that always gets me is when you ask one of them, somebody who's under the influence, what does water taste like?
Have you seen that video of the guy explaining that water is not wet?
Yes, I have seen that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's some more classic interneting. I'm gonna make myself a note to put the link to that video in this.
Do you remember the Jaeger bomb video from like 15 years ago when YouTube first came out? The bro drinking Jaeger bombs?
No.
Oh man, I have to find that video. And the I Like Turtles video, that's a classic too.
I Like Turtles is
Yes,
classic.
that's a given. Yeah. One of my I think this is perfect for the episode because I just had a stoner moment.
I don't even remember what video I was supposed to put. What did I say I was going to put down? Oh my God.
You were gonna do the why is water wet?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Why is water wet? One of mine would be Scary Movie. Scary Movie is one of those to this day I still think that's the best one, and it's just, to me, I would imagine under the influence would just make it even better.
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think the first one is the only one I've seen the whole way through.
Oh really? I've seen the second one.
No, I take that back. I think I've seen the first one and the second one. I don't think I ever saw the third one.
Did you see? I got really close to that.
No.
I got scared.
No.
I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Although one time, this is a true story. This is a Mikey story. He comes over to my house.
We need a whenever a Mikey story happens, I think we need an intro for it.
We need like a little drop. Yeah, I got to come up with a.
Yeah, we got to think of that. I think that's the next step on the Half Step Down podcast is to
the Mikey drop.
The Mikey drop. Yeah. Aside from social media, where social media presence, but I think
which we will get to eventually. I swear to God,
it will happen. I promise. It will happen. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think me and him were gonna go get something to eat. He comes to my house, and Meet the Spartans is on.
Oh my gosh!
And he refused to leave because he's like, "This is hilarious." And we sat and watched the entirety. Well, he watched Meet the Spartans, and I think I just went, "So, dude, I'm gonna go on my computer. You can go eat when you're done."
Yeah.
But he was just dying.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fucking hilarious.
He just thought it was great. Mallrats would be another one too.
Mallrats is a good one. Yeah. Mallrats is a good one.
Clerks, I think, is a little sophisticated to understand if I was under me personally, because when I used to back in my heyday, I was
not that you do anymore.
Not that I do anymore.
Wink, nudge.
Not at all. But I definitely was the kind of stoner where I wasn't productive. I don't like feeling not productive.
Right. Okay.
Like I'm not being able to do something while I'm So that's even though I usually don't do anything, but that's besides the point. Yeah.
What's your next one? Oh, you went just now.
Yeah, I just went. Yeah.
Mine.
Are you okay?
I'm all right. I'm gonna be honest. Sure you're okay? I'm really tired today.
Yeah.
It was baseball today.
Yeah,
we went swimming with the kids.
Yeah.
My next one.
Yada. I'm really tired today.
Battlefield Earth.
I never seen Battlefield.
Oh, buddy, Battlefield Earth, even not under the influence. That is a hilarious movie.
I have to see that one.
It's one of those so bad, it's good. There's just so many things about it that don't make sense. Obviously, it's L. Ron Hubbard, right? It's the Scientology guy. But I would highly recommend renting that movie if you get it. Or no, don't rent it. Get your hands on a copy.
I was gonna say, can you go to Blockbuster and get that?
You probably go to Blockbuster, or you can go to like one of the many corner video stores that are still available.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you the story about my Uber driver that owned the Blockbuster that I used to go to?
No.
So I was at a pub with my cousin. We were having some food and probably watching a game of some sort. And I ordered an Uber to head back home. And I was having a conversation with the guy, and he had mentioned, I had asked him, I said, "Oh, what do you do? Is this, do you do Uber full time?" He goes, "I do." He goes, "I've been doing Uber full time for a couple of years now." He goes, "I used to own a business, but unfortunately went under." I said, "Oh, that sucks, man." I go, "What did you do?" And he goes, "I owned a Blockbuster." And he owned one or two, I believe one, and he owned a smaller mom and pop video store.
Okay.
And I go, "Which one?" And he told me which one. I said, "Dude, that's the one I would go to."
Yeah.
I said, "I would go to that Blockbuster." That's crazy to me. And I'm sure we all know. I'm sure everybody knows the reason why Blockbuster died. And I had asked him, I said, "Hey, man," I go, "So can I ask you, what's the biggest reason why Blockbuster failed?" And he goes, "The internet killed my business."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, and also that because Blockbuster didn't want to buy Netflix. So,
yeah. I mean, well, like I remember, so there's that documentary on Netflix now called The Last Blockbuster. And everyone got very nostalgic.
That's so ironic, huh?
Yeah. Because there is one left, right?
Yeah.
And everyone at the time was getting really nostalgic. And there's a video store in Pasadena. I forgot what it's called.
It's still there?
It's still there.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's like a I'll look it up before the end of the episode. But they specialize in like real like cinemaphile movies. They'll have like sections dedicated to directors, or like French New Wave section. Like,
oh, okay.
It's like a cinephile store.
Okay.
But they put up a whole thing. It's like, guys, why are you all nostalgic of this company that basically killed the mom and pop video store?
Yeah.
It's like you guys are feeling bad about this company that basically killed like a life. Like so many stores died because of Blockbuster. And it's like, I thought about that, but I still get nostalgic because Blockbuster was like
60% of their marketing plan of their revenue was from late fees. 60%.
Dude, there's that great line in that Vandal song where he talks about 60% of Blockbuster's late fees is or whatever is contributed to late fees.
Yeah.
By me doing nothing, I am strategically helping the economy.
Yeah.
And then he goes into, I don't want to live fast diarrhea.
Yeah. So we have mentioned some of our favorite stoner movies.
Last one.
Oh, go ahead.
The OG Dawn of the Dead.
I saw Dawn of the Dead with you.
Yeah.
I was a kid.
Oh yeah, you did not like it.
I did not like it as a kid.
OG Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorites.
Yes.
It's great.
I've seen it since then, but at the time I didn't. I remember just being petrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys loved it. And I remember just freaking out. Yeah, but that would be pretty good. I would be interested in watching Dawn of the Dead again that way.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, but now that we mentioned some of our favorite movies that we would think would be great under the influence.
All right.
Why don't we see what some of the most essential ones are?
Okay, so this is according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, and obviously if it's not Rotten Tomatoes, it's a nothing tomato.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll work
25 essential stoner movies ranked. Number 25. And I find it ironic. Before I say this, the higher you go, the higher the percentage the tomato meter goes. Mm-hmm. We're going to start here at the bottom here.
Okay.
25. Grandma's Boy at 16%.
That movie's great.
I loved Grandma's Boy.
Oh, man. I love that
Grandma's
movie.
Boy.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
When the developer is in and he's listening to techno, and the guy goes, "What's the matter? You don't like music?" He goes, "No, I just don't like techno."
You would if you had robot ears.
Or when he's up against the wall and he's like talking to him.
Yeah.
It's like, how did he see me?
Yeah. And he would always flap his coat.
His coat.
Yeah, that one's great. That's a good one.
How much do clothes cost in the Matrix? That was my. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't know why that.
That's a good one.
I
Yeah,
think-
I don't know if I'd count that top 20. I don't know if I'd put that at 25. I'd probably put it a little higher in the list.
Yeah. I mean, all right. Well, let's see. We got some more coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. So 24. Dude, where's my car?
I would definitely put Grandma's Boy over Dude, Where's My Car.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah.
Would you put it over Soul Plane at number 23?
Yeah, I would.
I've not seen Soul
Yeah,
Plane.
I have seen Soul Plane. I'd rather do Grandma's Boy.
How about How High?
Oh no, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I love How High. Have you ever seen How High?
I do. I have not seen How High.
With Method Man and Redman, you can't get any better.
I do love me
that
some
movie.
Method Man. It's
That's okay. I think I'm. Oh man. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do here now, as we're moving on, is where does Grandma's Boy stop on Renee's top 25 essential stoner hits? And it's already past 24 and 23.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take it behind How High. I think I'm gonna take it in front of How High. I love How High,
Okay.
but I think Grandma's Boy is just a tad bit better.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna place it right where I think yours is. I might put it above How High, 'cause I don't think I've ever seen How High.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's why I'm putting it above How High.
But our
So
next
we're
one,
still going. Yeah,
Half Baked, 21.
That's where it stops.
Yeah.
Now we're going where Half Baked go. Now
yeah.
we got to figure out where Half Baked is going. I love Half Baked. I can watch that movie all the time.
It's one of my favorites.
It's the greatest.
The joke, that one where, how long can you last in here? I don't know. Maybe 5, 6:30.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
one of
I
my
love it,
favorite
dude.
jokes.
I love it.
Oh.
The Squirrel Master.
Squirrel Master.
I'm definitely. What number is that? 21?
That's 21.
Okay, so Grandma's Boy is at 21.
Yeah.
So now where are we ranking Half Baked? Let's keep going.
Okay, we'll see that right now. Next one, Super Troopers.
Oh, damn it.
This is gonna be hard.
So, oh, dude. Hey, Jose, what's that place with all the funny shit on the walls that you like with the mozzarella sticks?
Oh, you guys talking about shenanigans? He holds out the pistol.
So here's the thing here's the difference between Super Trooper and Half Baked, in my opinion. If you say that quote to someone, they will always say shenanigans. You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Right.
And I'm pretty sure if you say something from Half Baked, I'm more than likely they're probably not going to know.
Yeah, Half Baked is a lot more under the radar.
Yeah.
Although now that Chappelle is blown up, maybe it's a bit more in the. But yeah, Super Troopers I think just blew up in a different way.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're stopping Half Baked at 20 then.
Okay.
We bumped it up one.
Bumped it up
Yeah.
one.
So now where's Super Troopers going?
Well, Super Troopers is 20.
Yeah, I know, but we bumped Half Baked to 20.
Okay.
So now Super Troopers, we're gonna see where we're ranking that.
I see what you're saying.
So we're gonna say what was number 24?
24 was Dude, Where's My Car?
Okay, let's take out Soul Plane from the list. That was the one that got bumped off.
Okay, we'll get rid of Soul Plane. Okay. The next one at 19 is Reefer Madness.
I never saw that.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah, so we're moving.
So we're gonna move that one off.
Yeah, let's take out Reefer Madness and throw Soul Plane at the very top of 25.
Okay.
That's Jose and that's Half Step Down's ranking system right now.
I like it.
Yeah. The Half Step Down poll.
18 is Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams.
Yeah, I can see that up there.
Yeah.
It's not the best.
It's not the best.
Yeah, it's not the best one.
Especially not considering that 17 is Up in Smoke.
Yeah.
Up in Smoke is a classic.
Yeah, that has to be top 5.
That has to get up. That needs to be bumped up
That
a little
has
bit,
to
I think.
be. Yeah.
Especially over We're the Millers. I don't think I've ever seen We're the Millers.
The only thing I remember about We're the Millers is I guess it's the daughter's boyfriend. I'm not 100% sure, but he has a tattoo that's on his chest or something like that, and it says "No regrets." That's my favorite in the whole movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now this next one. At 15, they've got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh man.
Oh, dude.
Travesty.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's got to be higher, right?
Yeah, I would probably say top 10.
Yeah.
I would say Fear and Loathing is definitely top 10. I would actually say Super Troopers might be top 10 as well. Up. I think Up and Smoke needs to be top 5 in my opinion.
I mean, it is the OG, right?
Yeah.
I don't think of, other than Reefer Madness, I cannot think of another movie that celebrated that culture.
Yeah. Then Up and Smoke. Yeah.
Before that.
Then the Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah. Okay. 14. Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny.
I don't really consider that. Do you consider that a stoner movie?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I know that the whole thing is that they were stoners.
Yeah, see, but the difference between being stoners and making a stoner movie, I think, is very different.
Right.
Right? Like, because we know...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, like Seth Rogen and them are stoners, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't... I mean... Like, because they're stoners, does that necessarily the movies that they're in make them stoner movies? Like, is Knocked Up a stoner movie, even though they smoke in the movie? Right?
See, and that we're going to get into some where we can make that argument.
Okay.
It's going to be weird. It's coming up. All right, so Tenacious D, I'm in kind of a limbo on that.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so now 13, they put Scary Movie.
See, but I think
Is that a stoner movie, though?
that's true. Just because of Smokey, does that make it a stoner movie? Right?
Right? Okay.
Yeah, that movie is just a parody of what horror movies are.
Right.
So that doesn't really make it a stoner movie.
Right. So let's get rid of Scary Movie.
Okay, let's get rid of Scary Movie. Yeah. Not saying that it wouldn't be better under the influence, though.
But not a stoner
Right?
movie.
But not a stoner movie. Yeah.
12, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Again, I don't know if this is a stoner
love
movie.
that movie.
And it's a great one.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever see Reboot?
I never saw Reboot.
Yeah,
I never saw to me, Jay and Silent Bob are this perfect 90s time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they exist outside of that time. Jay and Silent Bob, obviously, I think was 2001. But I feel like that was a perfect swan song, which is like, this is the end of that era.
But that was the idea, right? I think
that's what it was,
that
right?
was what it was supposed to happen. But then he made Clerks 2 because he goes, well, Kevin Smith is the kind of guy, he's like, I'm going to cash in all I can. And he's not afraid to admit it either.
I appreciate the honesty.
I appreciate the honesty that Kevin Smith has, yeah.
So, I mean, I will watch it eventually, but I don't know if he's going to be able to capture that magic.
So here's the thing. Now, right before we went on the air, we were talking about, when we went on there, we were talking about Coming to America, right? Mm-hmm. And how we haven't seen the second one. Mm-hmm. But I've spoken to people I've spoken to a couple of people who say, nah, it's not really, the first one's better. Obviously, you can't compare something that was made 20 years ago, right, to what it is now, or 30 years ago, right? Because that was in the 80s. To now, it's the same concept as Bill and Ted. Now,
right.
I, as you know, I love Bill and Ted. I'm a huge fan of Excellent Adventure, even Bogus Journey. But the third one was exactly what it needed to be. Okay. Which was to me, I thought it was more like a film of Keanu Reeves and Alex Winters doing Bill and Ted. It just works, but it wasn't for everyone. Right. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, that movie wasn't necessarily for everyone, but if you like Bill and Ted, I think that was a good movie. It was a good way to end. Right. You know what I'm saying? Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is definitely not that movie. Like, it's not. And I'm a fan of, like, if you're going to go back to the well, let's do it. Like, Dumb and Dumber 2 was something that I just did not like. That's like, I couldn't do it. But I would sound like a hypocrite by saying that, I hated those movies because just because they were made 20 years ago doesn't mean it's not okay to make a sequel. Right. But Bill and Ted 3, I think, was exactly what it needed to be. Dumb and Dumber 2 wasn't good at all, in my opinion, and Reboot it didn't work. Okay. You know what I mean? So I
didn't even give Dumb and Dumber 2 a try.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. I will give Jay and Silent Bob just because they were such a big deal. Yeah.
Well, Clerks 2 was great. I like that. Was made, 15, 16 years ago, 15, 16 years after? And they're making a third one, and I'll be honest, I'm on board. Yeah. I'm on board for the third one. Yeah.
Clerks 2, 2006? Yeah.
Yeah. And Clerks being that and Back to the Future being my two favorite movies, just to make a sequel to Clerks, I think was great. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, it still holds up really well. I think that's a good one. But the third one, we'll see how it goes. But as of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I don't know if I'd consider that a stoner movie.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just a comedy.
Yeah, just a comedy. Right. Yeah.
Okay, Smiley Face.
I don't think I ever watched that.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
It's got Anna Faris, Danny Masterson.
Anna Faris is gorgeous. I think the older she gets even more beautiful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we're now getting into movies. Jay and Silent Bob was at a 53. Smiley Face 67.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Pineapple Express at number 10. I fucking love Pineapple Express.
Yeah, so do I. But isn't that an action comedy? But is that really a stoner movie? Well, it is.
I mean, the whole thing is around
is
around weed, right?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
So I mean,
why are you in it? Let's get back in the dumpster. Why? Because I'm in here already. Or what is? Yeah, because I'm in here already. Yeah. I love that one. Yeah.
Oh man.
But you know what's funny? The difference between
the food's so nice they named it twice.
You know what I love about the difference between Pineapple Express and Grandma's Boy though is that I can quote Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
But Pineapple, I just, you know what I mean? I'm too big to drive to the devil's house. Phone call for you. I think it's the devil. Yeah, you know? I don't know. Yeah.
I love fucking when Danny McBride is like all shut up and dying and he's just listening to Bone Thugs. Just sitting in his...
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. All right, number 10.
Dude, that was the summer where Pineapple Express and Tropic Thunder came out.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big summer for comedies. I remember that.
Yeah, dude. Getting towards the end of the era of being able to make politically incorrect.
Yes.
Before the things got really hard.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah. Number 9, Ted.
I love Ted, man. And look, I'm not a Seth MacFarlane fan. Like a huge Seth MacFarlane fan. I don't like Family Guy. I'm sorry for the listeners who love Family Guy. I'm just not a fan. But I do appreciate Ted.
I have this thing where, okay, so truth be told, I've never seen Ted. Okay, I gotta watch it. I don't like Family Guy, but I don't know why I like Seth MacFarlane.
Because he can sing.
Yeah. And every time I see him on TV, he seems like a decent guy.
He just seems like a cool dude, right? Yeah.
But we'll get to that. I gotta get to this. I will see it because I've heard good things.
Yeah. Hey, did you know that Nancy Cartwright also did Chucky from Rugrats?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I did know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's because when I thought Seth, when we were talking about Seth, I thought Family Guy, The Voices,
no,
all came together, and I just thought Nancy Cartwright.
That you had an epiphany.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 8, Inherent Vice. I have not seen this one.
I have not seen that. Who's that with?
That's got Joaquin Phoenix, Josh Brolin, Owen Wilson. Wow. Catherine Watterson. And it was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, number 7, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Now, all throughout high school, this came out in 2004.
Yeah.
All throughout high school, my friend group consisted of, well, really, I think I made friends with these guys junior year, but Shankar, who was Sri Lankan, and his best friend was Chris Lee, who was Taiwanese. In 2004, when this fucking movie came out, we could go nowhere without everyone going Harold and just fucking yelling it at those two.
Wow, really? Like that's hilarious. What are the odds?
Like,
dude?
It was just like, and we saw the movie and we thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But like 6 months into it was just like, fuck, stop it. Like,
yeah. That's so funny.
But I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good, and I'm sure that movie holds a spot for you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just because of all that. Yeah,
because of all that, and then I still like the little dream sequence where he shoots. He goes, "But my only weakness. How did you know?"
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
All right, now another all-time classic.
What number are we on?
We're at number 6.
Okay.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh man, there has to be a reason why that's not in the top 5.
There's there's gotta
be a reason.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's a good reason. It's not a good reason. Okay.
All
right. Number 5, Friday. Is Friday a stoner movie?
No.
Friday is just a comedy.
It's just a comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way.
So there's no way. Friday, classic. A classic one.
Yeah.
But definitely just a comedy.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. What I can see why it would be considered a stoner movie, just because it's all about pot and about marijuana, and then the dealer wanting to get him shot. And
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That's a good one.
That's a movie as I got older too. It just was even funnier.
Yeah, I can still watch. I can still watch Friday. Okay, number 4 for me, The Big Lebowski. That's top 3 for me.
As a stoner movie?
It's a stoner movie. Even.
Okay. Yeah, but I think as the people who follow the show, I think they already know your love for The Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think. Do you think you're being biased?
I don't know, because here's the thing, man. He's constantly smoking weed. Like the whole weed smoking is his whole persona. Yeah. I could see you not wanting it to be a stoner movie, though.
Yeah,
I could see that too. But I'm gonna say bias.
Okay.
Big Lebowski is probably one of my top 5 movies just ever.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. So this is where it starts to get kind of iffy for me. Number 1 and 2 I can see, but number 3, This Is the End.
That's not a stoner movie, though. That's a disaster movie.
That's like a disaster parody, right?
Yeah.
So we'll move that one.
Yeah, we got to bump that off. That's a great movie, though.
I haven't seen it.
That movie's really funny.
I got to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, now number 2, Easy Rider. Is that a stoner movie?
I would think so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
counterculture, right.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Dazed and Confused.
Oh, yeah. I think that's
sense.
the epitome of stoner movie.
That one makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one of those movies that I can watch all the time as well. Dazed and Confused to me is the movie that is in the background. It's a good background movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because there's not much that you really need to pay attention to. It's kind of it's a movie about, obviously there's a plot to the movie, but it's not, integral to actually having a watch. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just a good movie to ignore.
It's one of those things where it just kind of perfectly captures a moment in time.
Yeah.
And you get a sense of what that era must have been like.
Yes.
Now, whether it was really like that or that's just Hollywood magic, it's one of those movies that makes you feel nostalgia for something you didn't live through.
But again, I don't know if you consider Hollywood magic because it was an indie film.
Was it?
Yeah, it was an indie film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, still like movie magic. Let's call it
movie magic. Yeah. They were able to do whatever they wanted most of the time. The actors, yeah. I saw a documentary on that. Yeah, it was pretty great.
All right, man. That brings us down
That brings us down to the second portion of the show, which is called The Wind Down.
Okay.
Which is where we talk about anything else besides stoner movie. Well, besides whatever we spoke about already.
Right.
Yeah, I got to think of a better intro for that.
Yeah, we'll figure something.
I'll figure it out, guys.
And this first one I want to talk about. This series, I think, holds a special place in a lot of stoners' hearts, and that's Mystery Science Theater. Mm-hmm. There was a great article, if you guys get a chance, in the AV.
It's funny how I just said that that The Wind Down is a portion of the show, the second part of the show where we don't talk about the theme.
Right. And I went to the first one.
You went to the first one, but it's okay.
It's all right.
It's our show. We can do what we do.
It's called An Oral History of Mystery Science Theater. So for those of you who have not seen Mystery Science Theater, it's basically a show where there's a purposefully bad movie, and these 3 puppets, 2 puppets and 1 guy, make fun of the movie in real time. And it is one of my all-time favorite cult TV shows. And if you ever get a chance to watch, and I guess I should have added this one, is Mystery Science Theater, the movie.
The movie, yes.
Is a great one. So check it out. But if you get a chance, look it up because it's a great show.
You know what would be an amazing show to see under the influence too would have been The Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be more like a mind bender, if anything.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Renee, are you going to drop some cash on the stupid Sexy Flanders figure that's coming out from The Simpsons?
I'd be stupid not to get.
You would be stupid. It feels like he's wearing nothing at all.
Yeah,
nothing at all. I want to
Nothing at all.
see.
And it's just zooming in on
It
his
just
ass.
8-inch stupid sexy Flanders. I gotta see how much
Yeah.
this thing is.
Is he? It's with the shirt off, I'm assuming, right?
No, it's remember when he's in that ski outfit.
Oh, okay. So is he posed like in
he's
nothing
got,
at all?
He's got his little like.
Oh god,
He's
that's
got the little
great.
thing kind of coming out.
That is awesome.
Dude, have you seen that? On a side note, have you seen that transforming Optimus Prime?
No, I have not seen.
Okay, so they are releasing. Oh god,
I did see the. I don't know if you saw this, but a couple years ago they did a Transformers, the Wu-Tang Clan. The Wu-Tang Clan.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they did a Transformers Wu-Tang collab. It was pretty rad.
Oh, that's
one of
cool.
my friends has them. They're pretty. They did them. I think they released them at I think they did it at San Diego Comic-Con a couple years back. But I remember she showed them to me. They were awesome. I wish I would have picked some of those up. Yeah.
Well, when you get a chance to look at this, this thing is it's an Optimus Prime. Okay, it is on its own voice command. It will fully transform from a truck to Optimus Prime by itself.
Wow.
It's voiced by the original voice actor. It's programmable, so you can tell it to do stuff and it'll do it.
No.
It's legit. It is the
Wow.
most insane toy I've ever seen. How much do you think it costs?
$1,000.
$700.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a Gen 1 Optimus Prime that talks, and it basically is one of the two toys. And there are two toys in my life that I think every kid that grew up in the 80s wants. One of them is this Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
The other one, have you heard about this from Disney?
The lightsaber.
The lightsaber.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
We did? Oh,
Uh-huh.
man. So this is
Yeah.
the two things, man. I cannot
Yes.
wait.
Yeah.
I say as if I'm going to buy this because it's like a collector's edition. There's no way I could afford it. But
Did they already
God.
announce the price for the lightsabers?
no, they haven't even released pictures. All I
Okay.
know is that
They showed it at the conference.
the investor
Yeah,
meeting,
the
right?
investor meeting, yeah.
And I guess one of the Imagineers that's like responsible is like, it's real and we're gonna sell it.
Wow.
But people were like, dude, was that? I guess people in the audience was like, was that computer generated?
Yeah.
Like that's apparently how insane it looks.
Wow.
But I can't wait.
That is awesome. It's funny because as a kid in the 90s, the two things that being a kid in the 90s that you wanted was A, a lightsaber, a real lightsaber,
Right.
and B was the Megazord.
Oh, Megazord.
That
yeah.
was for us. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Megazord and the lightsaber.
The Megazord is, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but the Megazord, even though I was not into Power Rangers was the first thing that should have been like my jam that I remember being like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But it is the series that enlightened me that you can collect toys. Mm-hmm. Because I remember I was telling my friend's mom she was dropping me off. She picked me up from school. And I said, like, oh, they have a Megazord at this toy store, and I want one. And she goes, but I thought you didn't like Power Rangers. And I said, yeah, but I think the robot looks cool.
Yeah.
I said, I think it's just a cool, I just want to have it to look at it.
Yeah.
And then she goes, people buy toys just to look at them. You don't need to play with them. And it blew my mind. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like you can just buy toys and have them?
And
Yeah.
and just hold on to them.
They collect toys.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
So
It's so crazy to think that as you get older, you think about all these things that you had as a kid, and I think to myself, man, if I would have just held on to that stuff. But what kid at that age really just wants to look at these things? You want to play with
you
these
wanna play these things.
Like, do you know an original Buzz Lightyear is expensive?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I had one, and I remember the plastic being broken off, like the front part, because because it would slide open.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember they would just break off, and I remember just having it with me everywhere I went. Like Buzz Lightyear and Woody were with me everywhere I went as a kid. And to think about how much they're worth now, I think to myself, if I would have just held on to those,
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like left them
mean-
in the box or some shit. Like no one wants to hold on to something in a box.
Fucking the Turtle Van. I had the Technodrome.
My
Although I
buddy
think-
has the Turtle Van, which he's going to give me.
Nice.
And then I have Leonardo and Michelangelo already. And so I'm looking for the other 8. And then I think he has an April O'Neil.
Nice.
And I think he also has the Technodrome. And he's told me, he goes, I just let my nephews play with them. I go, let me buy them.
Yeah.
Like, let me buy them because that is nostalgia for me.
Right.
For me, the Turtles are bigger than Star Wars as a kid.
Oh, I think
Like that was for me as a kid. That's my jam.
That.
Still is.
All right, last two stories. All right, so Iggy Pop is joining a comedy, Blue Iguana. It's also going to star Joel David Moore and Bob Saget. Iggy Pop is one of my favorite just people. I don't know.
He just seems so cool. Huh?
He just seems like the coolest dude. He looks like he was put together out of pieces of leather. And then I always, every time
he seems like what Leatherface was based off of. No, that's so rude. I'm sorry.
That was a little bit different.
If you're listening, I'm a big fan.
I enjoy the fact that this dude's fucking old as fuck and just gets on there with no shirt.
Yeah.
And is just fucking kicking and screaming and just going at it.
Well, Iggy Pop and this dude just have to be probably what started punk rock, maybe the beginning of punk rock.
I'm gonna say that before punk rock was punk rock, the Stooges were probably they probably invented that sound more than anyone else.
Yeah, I think so too.
And dude's 74.
Wow.
So like, yeah, man, he's up there.
Yeah. I remember him in Coffee and Cigarettes.
Coffee and Cigarettes. That was a great one.
Yeah. When he's just sitting there. I remember he was being so anxious.
Yeah.
Smoking. Didn't he stop smoking half of his cigarette and he put it away? Or was that a different scene? I think it was smoking and like put half of it away. I forgot what it was, but that was a good one. I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, it's been a while. All right, and the last two, we're gonna talk about Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
Apologizing for voicing Apu.
Yeah. That's a tough one, man.
That's a tough one.
That must be tough for him. I mean, we're in a day and age now where it's sometimes we feel like we have to walk on eggshells and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand.
I see the point.
But a character, gosh, to voice something for 30 years. That must be tough.
I almost feel like it was just gonna get grandfathered in, right? Because that show started in the 80s, right? Like it's almost, you're right, like 30 plus years.
30 plus years. Yeah.
And
not including before season 1, right? Not including when they were on
Tracy Ullman,
on the Tracy Ullman show. Yeah.
So and I think and I know they're doing a lot. The Simpsons is doing a lot to like the characters of color. They're gonna start hiring actors. So like the dude that does Homer is no longer gonna do Dr. Hubbard.
Yeah.
Dr. Hibbert.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a weird time we live in. But more is like, fuck, man, the Simpsons has been going on way too long.
Yeah.
Like, society has now changed.
Yeah. But you know what, man? I will give credit. We talk about the Simpsons often. I will give them credit because they're still able to hold on. Whether or not people are watching or not, they're still holding on, dude. And there has to be it's the advertising. They probably can charge so much for advertising.
Yeah.
For that show. It has to be.
So and there's a special episode of The Simpsons that I want to talk about, but we'll talk about it on the next episode. And then the last thing before we go, tell me if you have any interest in this. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I did. Actually, I have a funny story about that.
Okay.
I think I mentioned this on the show, but it's our show, right, Jose? So
we can do what we want.
Exactly. There was a time where I was talking to my brother, and he had mentioned Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I hadn't seen it yet, right? And because I was watching Inglourious Bastards, and I go, this is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, Inglourious Bastards.
Right.
And he goes, you haven't seen, what about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Django and Chain? And I was like, well, this is my favorite movie. This is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
Right.
I haven't seen at the time I hadn't seen Django Unchained or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I've already rectified that problem. I've already seen both. And he says, then you can't say that that's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, no, but it is my favorite.
Yeah,
I've seen that one, and that's my favorite Quentin Tarantino. We went into an argument for 10 minutes.
Nice.
He was angry at the fact that Inglourious Bastards was my favorite when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was his, and I needed to watch that. And I was like, shut up. I'm like, dude, that's my favorite, and it still is. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is awesome, but I don't know if I can do a 20-hour movie of Once Upon a Time
20 hours, dude. Let me explain something to you. I recently watched the Snyder Cut.
Which I will get to next week, and I promise. I will get to it so we can talk about it.
Too fucking long. 4 hours is too long for a movie. I cannot imagine. Now, I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but it's a slow movie.
Yeah.
But I think that's like on purpose.
Yeah.
But I could not imagine what the fuck you would do for 20 hours.
That's like what? That's like binging a show.
Yeah. Although, maybe they make it a series because they did take Hateful Eight and make it into a series because apparently there's like an 8-hour cut of that. And they cut it up into episodes, which I haven't seen yet. But
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
Interesting.
Give it a shot. You know, Quentin Tarantino really is. I love him because he really does fuck with the format.
Yeah.
And kind of just like, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. And it works.
Yeah, most of the time it works.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. He brought John Travolta back to the mainstream.
That he did.
Yeah. And he got nominated. You know what's funny? I saw my two favorite roles that John Travolta was in was Saturday Night Fever and Pulp Fiction. And I saw online that those are the only two movies he was nominated for.
Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen Saturday Night Fever recently?
Not recently.
It's that's a movie you need to go back and watch. It's a great movie.
I gotta check that one out.
That's such a great movie.
He wasn't nominated for Battlefield then?
Do you remember when we used to I still try to, is when we talk about actors or actresses, I try to name a bad movie that we're in before I say their names.
Right, yes.
Right? Are you talking about Battlefield Earth's John Travolta?
Yeah.
Or Monkey Bones' Brendan Fraser? You know? Are you talking about Biodome's Pauly Shore?
I think I like Biodome.
Oh.
Although, again, I think the only time I ever saw it was I was like in 5th grade. So I'm sure at the time I thought it was hilarious. I'm sure if I rewatched it.
What's your favorite Pauly Shore movie?
In the Army now.
I think Encino Man's my favorite.
Oh, I got to go Encino Man.
Yeah.
I got to go Encino Man.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. I like that. Jose, do you have any I know we haven't talked about the playlist in quite some time.
We haven't.
What is our Half Step Down playlist?
So we have a running playlist that's in the description of every episode. And we've decided we're just going to start adding songs onto there just to kind of keep it lively. Maybe we'll take some stuff off, but mostly just throw stuff on. But for this episode, I think we were going to pick some songs by some bands that might fall into that genre.
Yeah.
So I picked the Fugs, which if you've never heard them, they are basically the counterculture movement in audio form. I picked some stoner metal like The Sword. I did a little bit of Sleep on there because I do like me my stoner metal. And then I don't know why, but I just associate this with stoners as Dave Matthews Band. That's a guilty pleasure for me.
I threw in a band called Vacationer, which kind of really fits the more mellow side of 420. One song that I love to listen to is Alley Cat by Steel Train, which is just acoustic. Him just shredding on an acoustic guitar, and it's just a bass in him and just the guy singing.
Right.
For me, that always is all. I'm more of the mellow kind of stoner music, so I'm gonna throw some of that on there. And of course, it's not a Half Step Down playlist without some pop punk. Right. And I do know that they are some enthusiasts in the pop punk scene. There's a band called The Story So Far, who have been very openly vocal about being marijuana enthusiasts.
Okay.
So I will throw some Story So Far in there as well. And I think we got to throw some Marley in there.
You got to throw Marley.
I think we're going to just throw a couple Marley tracks on there too. Yeah. You know, reggae, I like me some reggae. But the only problem that I have with reggae, for me personally, is just because I don't know much of reggae. You know what I'm saying? So I just know the mainstream reggae. And there's a restaurant not too far from here. It's called Roll 'Em Up. It's a Chipotle for taquitos. Okay. And they only sell taquitos there. Mm-hmm. And I went to eat there once, and I remember the entire time we were there, it was just reggae music. And I remember just kind of feeling it. But it was just so out of place because I was having Mexican food. Right. It just kind of felt out of place. And I tried to Shazam it, and none of it ever came out. And I was like, man, I need to know what this stuff is because I cannot figure it out. So that was pretty cool. So I wish I kind of want to ask him what what the Pandora mix was on there, like who they looked up, so that way I can just listen to some of those tracks. But I think we're gonna have to throw some Marley, some reggae on there. We'll find some good
I'm gonna
stuff.
throw some King Tubby on there.
Okay.
You guys will like it. You're gonna throw.
Can
some
we throw
King
some
Tubby.
Sean Kingston on there too, just cause?
If we can do whatever we want. It's our show.
It's beautiful girls.
You know what? I am gonna say the one thing about my favorite joke about reggae was it. Do you like reggae? Oh yeah, I love that song. Just all the songs sound.
Did you know that Hank Azaria was that big buff French nudist from Along Came Polly? Do you remember Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston?
I have not seen that
You
one.
oh, okay. So I saw an interview with Hank Azaria because I was reading some interviews, and I saw some stuff on him on like the Colbert show or something. And then he popped up. He goes, "Dude," he goes, "I have a problem to pick with you." He goes, "You are incredibly fit for a comedian."
Oh, he's ripped.
Yeah,
he's ripped.
He is jacked, bro.
Yeah.
Just jacked. And I was like, "Dude, that's him." I totally forgot that was Hank Azaria because he has long hair and like this goatee. And totally different.
Yeah,
totally different.
Yeah. He was in. God, it was with Simon Pegg. I think it was called like Run Fat Boy Run. And he plays like Hank Azaria plays like a fit runner.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he's basically naked,
just fit,
and he's just
jacked.
cut. He's like 0% body fat.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Oh man,
it's disgusting in a way. It makes me feel angry.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, seeing people like I was telling my nephew that I'm as tall and I weigh just as much as Brock Lesnar does, and I don't look like him.
Yeah. No, you don't. To be honest.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know.
I gotta get on that Brock Lesnar. I have a feeling, that Brock Lesnar has like a 8-foot wall around the border of his house.
I did not know that.
And I've always thought to myself, I always tell my friends, I go, Brock Lesnar, I'm sure he hunts for breakfast. Like and the problem is that there's a gate. I'm assuming, right, that there's a gate for him to walk out of his house into the woods and hunt for breakfast, bring it, lay it over his shoulder and just walks back. I'm assuming because Brock Lesnar is just a mutant. It's just like he's the evolution of what humans are supposed to be.
Okay.
Right? He's the first specimen. And since it was Hitler's birthday, 420. The Nazis would have won the war.
Okay.
If they had Brock Lesnar.
Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna look up. We're gonna talk about this. Why 420? Because I don't know.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do that. So anyway, I'm assuming that instead of Brock Lesnar walking through the door, he probably hops over the wall. Like he just climbs over his wall, and he with the knife in his mouth, and he drops, kills the deer, puts him over his shoulder, throws it over the wall, hops over the wall, and then goes and cooks it for breakfast for the kids and the wife and all that. Instead of just going through the gate, the wife is probably like, "How come you just don't walk through the gate?" And then I'm sure he just looks at her and says, "I'm Brock Lesnar."
All right. You're right.
Yeah.
I did not know that was Hitler's birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. So I looked it up. This is an article from Vox. It says, let's see. There are a few possible explanations. High Times told the New York Times that it was a group of California teens that would ritualistically smoke every day at 420, and that just spread off. One common belief is that 420 was a California police or penal code, but there's no evidence of that. Another theory is that there are 420 active chemicals in marijuana, hence an obvious connection between the drug and the number, but that's not quite true either. I don't think people know why this is happening.
Growing up, I always heard because it was Hitler's birthday.
Okay.
I don't know if Adolf Hitler was a stoner.
I don't know.
I think I think it was too energetic and antsy to be one.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
I do know he was all hopped up on methamphetamines.
Yeah.
I do know that. Yeah. But fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying
piece
that.
Of shit. Yeah. This is a good one.
This is a good one. Yeah. Should we just do the plugs and move on to the next one?
Jose, where? Jeez. This episode, I think,
is a good one.
Is one of those episodes where, because it's about 420 and stoner movies and just all that stuff, I think we were able to get away with it.
I think we were.
Yeah, but I hope people don't expect this. This is not a common theme.
No.
Yeah.
We just thought
it'd be fun and funny. And I think we need like
and it was none of those things.
Yeah, I think you need to do a disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do a disclaimer for this episode. But Jose, where can everybody find us on the interwebs?
All right. Your one-stop shop for Half Step Down is halfstepdownpod.com. That's where you're going to find all the links to our social media that we don't use. And the episodes are all there. If you are on social media, I promise we're going to start updating it. We are at Half Step Down Pod. We are on Instagram and Twitter. Remember, we're going to start putting little previews of the playlist on that, so you can check those out. Yeah. We're also on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/halfstepdownpod.
For the older folk who love the Half Step Down podcast.
Exactly, all our older folk. That demo.
The demographic.
The demographic.
Yes. That is part of our marketing mix.
There it is. Don't forget to look us up on YouTube, youtube.com. If we get to 100 subscribers, we'll get a custom URL. But for now, you just got to search Half Step Down Pod in the YouTube search bar, and you can find our episodes there. Check out our Spotify playlist, as I've said before. And then if you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and help spread the word with hashtag HalfStepDownPod and hashtag Road to 100. And finally, do not forget to tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. for Half Step Down Radio at titanradio.org.
Jose, this is a great one, man.
It was a good one.
I enjoyed it. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We will see you guys next week. Take care.
See ya.
Yeah, give it up for these guys. I promise you guys.
Just so we're all clear, that was not like a real song. Okay. I made that up.